Are we live?
We are live.
I'm tired of seeing the intro video over and over.
Oh, it's a good intro video. You guys are going to have to excuse us. They've been cutting up and they got me all sidetracked and I don't know what's going on.
Sorry we're so late, everybody. We've got
Yes.
a new guy at the wheel today.
We had technical difficulties. I kept kicking the wires. All right, welcome to VidLift. Everybody's here. They're over in the chat, chatting it up a good bit. And Scott, tell them what we're here for. What are we doing?
Man, we're going to watch a couple of really cool videos from a couple of cool channels. We've got something from Fat Matt. And we've got something from Doreen over at Camping Therapy. We're going to talk about them, say some really cool ideas that we can steal. We're going to talk about some things that we might would do differently. We're going to ask you in the chat to share things that you would suggest. And we're going to all learn together from the master that we call Steve Turtle. I'm Scott McGuire. I'm from McGuire's on Tires. Myself, my wife, and my amazingly cute 2 daughters travel around in our RV and we have adventures and we share them on the YouTubes. And then we do cool things like this where we get to hang out with these amazing guys every Tuesday.
Well, that was pretty good. How about you, David?
That's Scott in the corner. That's Dave in the corner. Wait, we're all in the corner.
You're all in the doghouse.
I mean, we're all in the corner, but look at Scott. He's really in a corner. I mean, can he be in more in a corner?
Literal. Nice background.
He's not facing the right direction, though. He needs his dunce cap and turn around.
Oh, I mean, okay.
That's just bad.
Well, I am Dave from Texas Family Camping. We do videos all about camping stuff. We've got my wife, Tanya, my 2 girls, and our dog, Daisy, in the videos. And we like to go around and show off state parks, stuff about tents, stuff about campfires, stuff about RVs. And we just like to get outside and have some fun. How about this guy?
Hey, I'm Donovan from RV on the Wayside with my microphone in the screen. And I have been doing a ton of lives lately. Not just some from my channel, but from other channels. And I've been having a ball doing it. And we have a long list now of videos to make. All I got to do is start making them. And I will say this. I am so honored to be with these other 3 knuckleheads.
I think we have a pretty good time.
Yes.
Yeah. And like everybody said, we're here to help each other out and talk about editing and videos and video creation and all that good stuff. And we're gonna talk about 2 people within the community. And scrolling across the bottom of the screen is the link to submit your video link and your 1-minute segment that you would like us to look at. So if you would like that to happen, go ahead and send us an email to vidliftinfo@gmail.com. And mark your calendars because next week, Tuesday, June the 15th will be, Scott McGuire's on Tires, 8 o'clock Central Time. And you'll have the same crew. We'll all be there. Just changing channels. People watch our videos for different reasons. Our friends watch our videos because they love us. However, if you want your channel to grow, you're going to have to make videos that people are searching for. I find that sort of hard because I like making videos I like to make, but sometimes those videos just aren't videos people search for. So you got to decide, do you want to grow or do you want to have fun? You can do both, but you still got to look at your videos and make sure it's things that people are searching for. Because you can make videos all day long and make really good ones, but if nobody wants to watch them, it won't help you grow. Now, on each channel here, we have the links down below to their playlist, or excuse me, to their channel where you can find a playlist for each channel, and it has all the VidLift videos in it from each channel. sort of a convenience for you. You can go to any channel and watch all of the videos. And it doesn't matter which one you go to. The love is the same. All right, now that's it. Any words of wisdom?
Yeah,
Anybody?
I see Dave do this sometimes to focus his camera.
Yeah.
But no matter how many times I do it, Dave still looks like that.
Yeah. You know, I know that's true because I've done the same thing.
I keep trying it to make Donovan have hair.
Oh,
It's not working.
no, not going to work.
I was doing it backwards. I thought it's this way. I got it now. All right.
Well, thanks everyone that's in the chat. Thanks for coming by. I sure do appreciate it. We're not going to go over there and talk to you guys too much, but if you got a question, type @Steve Turtle, type in bold letters. I don't know, put a bunch of emojis in there if you got a question so that we can see it, and we'll try to answer your question. If you got a topic you want to talk about, go ahead and put it down there. Might even talk about it. All right. Is that pretty much it? Did we catch up? We're good? You want to talk about the first video? How about let's show it? Now, be warned, people in the chat, it's a little graphic. So if you have get a little queasy when you see a little blood or some stitches or something like that, you either close your eyes or check out of the live stream and then come back in about 1 minute. So
Just cover your eyes.
yeah, or just do that.
Like, you know.
All right, so we've got
No, not that one.
See what it looks like.
See, there he's gonna make you have them. People might be able to turn those into shorts.
Ooh,
Ow. That might require a stitch or two.
it'll require more than a stitch or two, I think.
Yeah, it's gonna require a few. That's opening pretty good.
Yeah, it's almost like I haven't ever did a live stream. That was a video clip submitted by Camping Therapy. Doreen, her link is down below. And the second video we talk about, that link is down there as well if you want to go over there and watch that video. About
She
Scott.
made She made this video because of Scott's suggestion, right?
Yes, absolutely. Doreen's comment was, I think it was Scott that suggested altering the music to fit the selection of a video, which I thought was a good suggestion. In this video, I placed the music where it would build up to the moment where you saw the stitches. So that was her intent. So what do you think, Scott?
You know, when there are so many people out there in YouTube land that blame YouTube or blame the viewer for not growing or their videos not taking off, the only reason somebody's video doesn't take off is content. It's your video. And then, okay, maybe you've got an awesome video. Well, then did you optimize it? Did you put all the description and all of the optimizing you need to do? But when you can finally look at yourself and say, you know what, I need to work on my content. And for me, I've been working on the pacing of mine. I've been trying to make stuff go by faster so that it doesn't drag along. And the sign of somebody that's going to take off and grow like crazy is somebody that can honestly ask for feedback and then take the feedback and implement it and get better. And that's what Doreen did. She specifically said, here was my goal. It was to try to get the music to line up with the story I'm telling. Doreen, you knocked it out of the park. The music built suspense all the way through, and you could hear the music building all the way up into, you set it up. You let us know there are going to be stitches, and the music built all the way until bam, there are the stitches. I mean, you did all the things. It was really cool. And what I loved was it built. And I don't know if the music did this or you edited the music to do this. If you altered the music, tell us if you did this yourself or it just happened to work out. It built. You revealed the stitches, the music, or I'm sorry, the music stopped, and then there were the stitches, and we had to take it in for a moment, and then there was that low rumble in the piano, and then things faded out from there. You built to that payoff. You did the things, and that's how somebody grows and gets better, because they take the feedback and they do it. And you know, we try to even with something that awesome, Doreen, we try to offer some sort of feedback. I had to go searching for something. If I were gonna do anything different, and we'll stay on the music topic since that was the goal. The music built to the stitches moment, and it was the lineup to the music and the video was off by like a fraction of a second. It still had the moment. It was the moment you were looking for. But if I had to search for something, it was just barely off. And that either requires you to stretch your video, like one little snippet of it, make it slightly slow motion to where we wouldn't even know, or it requires you to cut the music, cut a little snippet out here and put it in extra here just to get it to line up perfectly. But I love that you took what we talked about before and you put it in. And I see in the chat, you said, I planned it that way. I cut off the music at the beginning so the end would be in the right place. Doreen, that's awesome. I love this clip. Thank you for submitting that so we could see the progress you made. I love it. It's awesome. Is Dave okay?
Whoa, where'd Dave go?
Well, Nursing Our Travel Bug thinks he fainted during the blood scene. So, because they did. Because one of them did. So,
Man.
Why is he blurred? Is that a blur effect?
Oh, man. That was extreme. Doreen, that was a well done video. I liked all of Scott's points. What I really got to appreciate is the fact that you warned me ahead of time. I legit actually do have a problem with bloody stuff, period. I have a scar here from when I went to see a movie that was a little too graphic for me, and I legit passed out in the hallway of the movie theater. That's not joking. I had to have stitches put in my face because of that. So, no, I didn't really just pass out right now. I was just being goofy to see how that would go. But anyway, I appreciate the fact that you put that in there. And I agree with everything Scott said. You did a great job with the music. I felt like this was really well done. We cared for you. So I guess the only thing I would have possibly done different is maybe offer an option for those squeamish like us and maybe have a blurred out version. You literally could do that. You could add a blurred out version and put two of them up at the same time. So just an option. Like, look, this show, it's not just about criticisms. It's about other options, different things you could have done. So that's just a suggestion from the squeamish long-haired guy that's actually a wuss. How about Donovan?
I can't stop laughing. Well, I thought you disappearing at first was like, did he forget to get more coffee? And then I thought maybe he really did pass out. Now, Nursing Our Travel Bug thinks so. First of all, the music choice was amazing. I really loved that music. And I thought the timing in the beginning was great. You didn't need to cut the music off. Let me tell you another little tiny secret. A lot of times, like when you got to that part where the music stopped to show the stitches, but then you got that boom to go to the next scene and you wanted to hold a little longer because the stitches were still there, just cut that music where it's blank, slide it over. That pause can be longer. You don't have to keep the songs exactly the way they come. Mm-hmm. Sometimes, and I'll tell you another trick, when it's an instrumental, sometimes I slow the speed of the entire song down a tiny, tiny bit, like maybe 2%, and I can stretch a song out almost 15 seconds on a whole video, or I'll speed it up a tiny, tiny bit to cut it to 15 seconds, depending on how long it is. People do not notice that. No, Scott will not notice it. He's never mentioned it once, but it's because we've never heard the song before. Now, if it's a song we've all heard, can't get away with it. But with these instrumentals for a background, you can do those things. They're great little tricks to be able to stretch things out and make things fit better. So it's one thing you could have done. Just make that gap, cut that sound and slide that over so that boom would have went right into your last screen. And that would have been kind of cool too. So, but the music choice was spot on, and what a difference. I mean, I was excited to see what was going to happen. I really was like, but I didn't do this. So you're good. You're good. I loved it. What do you think, Steve?
I think you all covered all the points. I agree with Scott. I am sort of partial because I know Doreen at Camping Therapy, and she has picked a content that is very searchable, and people look for it because it's a popular one. And she's done very well at presenting it. And she started off sort of like I did. I didn't know anything about any of this. I held my phone in the vertical, and from then till now, I started to try to learn things. And she is, as she pointed out in her comment, that she has taken suggestions and applied them and worked with that. And that's what everybody has to do. You have to look at things, listen to other videos and try to apply those things. And in some cases, you look at it and you go, I don't know how to do that. Well, then you just come to VidLift and we explain it. That's not completely true, but you know, you got to apply those things. And I really love that about her. And I think that's really a good quality of you know, trying to learn and get better. But I agree, maybe slightly off timing, just a little bit, but I thought it was a very good technique, and I think a lot of people use that. I like the way the music ends. There's some talking, and it picks back up. But I don't know. I thought it was a good clip. I thought it really made the point, and it didn't make me squeamish at all. All right, so we're going to show the clip again.
Hey, Steve, just before we do, I just want to make a mention that Fat Matt Adventures pointed out that at least the baby alien didn't burst out of her kneecap. Oh. And then Texas Family Camping says, you don't know that. Maybe she cut that part out just to keep people from fainting.
Oh, that would be a cool effect.
I'm sorry. We should play the clip again.
All right, we're going to play the clip. Dave, hide your eyes.
See what it looks like.
Yeah, he's gonna make you have them. People might be able to turn those into shorts.
Ooh.
Ow. That might require a stitch or two.
It'll require more than a stitch or two, I think.
Yeah, it's gonna require a few. That's opening pretty good.
Yeah, I think it was a pretty awesome clip.
Okay, Dave, you're good.
She did put in the chat that she got limited monetization because of the graphic nature of the cut.
Ah,
What does that mean? Limited monetization. What does that mean?
Some advertisers may not think it's ad-friendly content, and you may not get, you know, certain ads. They limit it. I don't know how it affects you.
Her CPM and RPM was probably lower if she were to look in their analytics on that one.
Yeah. What David said.
Steve, did you get your question?
No, where'd you put it in the chat? Where?
No, someone asked if that's your real hair.
Yeah, most of it. That's a little bit hurtful.
Hey, I don't mean to get off topic here, but earlier Dave said it might be a good idea to like blur out part of that. How would you do that, Dave?
In most video editing software, or even YouTube now, has the option to add in a blur effect. So even after you add the video to YouTube, it has a free ability to go in and blur stuff out. So, and my thought for her was, you know, if she uploaded the video twice and then slightly modified one, I would think that would help too, because YouTube likes it when you upload more things. So you might get better monetization on the one with the blurred out part.
When you guys are editing and you have your sound clip below your video, do you see the music peaks and valleys graph so that you can see when it's louder and, you know, those things? So
yep.
Scott was talking about how the timing was just a little bit off. What I do is when I have that clipped, when I go to that shot, I take that peak and I try to line it up, you know, with that point. So usually, you know, it works out pretty good.
Sometimes I can't see it. And so I zoom in all the way on the timeline as far as I can, and I'll grab the volume of that clip and raise it way up so I can see. It's just easier to see. And then once I'm ready to do stuff with it and publish it, I'll pull it back down where it needs to be. It just makes it easier to see while you're working with it.
Sure. I know Adobe has the ability to put like a marker right there, so you don't have to adjust the volume or whatever. If once you find it, you put the marker there, so then you can see it as you zoomed out.
RV mentioned you can also throw a cross blur or in the transition to stretch out slow music transition. So like if you need a little more space, you could have put a transition in there to give yourself that little bit more time before the next scene hits. That's another great way to space out your video versus your music. It's a good suggestion.
Hey, one other thing I noticed that Doreen did, there was minimal talking in here. And that really added, I think, to the, I don't know if mystery is the word. It definitely added to the atmosphere created, the effect created by the video. There was minimal talking. It was all text on the screen, and it was the music. And then there was a little bit of talking. I am curious, Doreen, when the warning, it's graphic at the beginning, what did you use to create that at the very beginning when it said warning, it's graphic? That looked really cool. I'm curious what you used to create it. And while she's typing that, I did have a suggestion that one thing that might could have beefed this up just a little bit and added to the building to that moment would be maybe a little bit of the doctor consulting. And I know when you're in the midst of that moment, that might be the last thing you're thinking about. The fact that you remembered to get your phone out and film your leg, that's really impressive to me. But that would be one more thing, just getting the doctor saying, oh yeah, we think we're going to have to do these things. And then, you know, you build. But one thing you did that was really smart, the viewer is watching to see the payoff. At the beginning of the video, you said the payoff is stitches. And so you know that as soon as the viewer sees stitches, they're done watching. And so what did you do? You got to the stitches and you ended the video. It was genius. You took us all, we had to stay tuned to get to the payoff that you promised, and then you ended the video. It was really smart.
Now not everybody has access to all these fancy editing things, but one of the only other things I could think of possibly, what had you zoomed in on the stitches and did that Ken Burns effect where it slowly pans out on the quiet. So it would have hit on the stitch close and then slowly pan out on your knee and then cut to that last scene. Another way, just to add a little more movement or motion or feeling to that last scene of the stitches.
Just a quick question as well for anybody in the chat. Is there anyone else in the chat that uses Adobe for editing? If you do, I've got another tip, but if nobody does, I won't bother with it.
It's the industry standard. You might as well go ahead.
Okay. So if you pay for the Adobe Creative Cloud, there's another app called Audition, which is used for recording of music. Has a super awesome feature where you can take your music, put it in there, click on Enable Remix, and it analyzes the whole song or whatever clip you put in there. And then it gives you the ability where you can put a new time in there and it will auto stretch it to whatever you need it to. And I use that a lot. So I've not seen that in any of the other programs, but it's come in very handy where, like, you know, if she knew how long this was going to be, take that shorter song, stretch it out, and it'll add the extra notes and make it sound seamless.
Yeah, and a lot of people use Final Cut Pro or iMovie, and I don't know if it has that function, but what you can do is just speed up, or it gives you a chance to make the music faster or slower, which is why I made that suggestion as well.
Yes, I don't have that fancy stuff.
You don't, yeah. I see Doreen said, doggone it. Go ahead, Steve. You're the host.
You're okay. We're having a round table. I do like Doreen. I take the end and put it where I want and cut off the front. That's the way I do it. But I really like that, David. That's awesome.
Doreen said that she used Filmora 9 to make that cool graphic at the beginning, if anybody else was wondering like I was. And Desert Adventures in Arizona said that they use iMovie because they're cheap. I use iMovie because it's the thing I'm comfortable with. I've learned to manipulate it to do the things I need it to do. And I've told you guys before, I started to learn Adobe because I have access to the whole suite. And I got in there and I realized I wasn't willing to learn a whole new thing because I can make iMovie do what I need it to do.
It's like
free when you bought an Apple computer.
It's like climbing from a car and going into a 747 and seeing all the knobs and everything. You're just like, no.
It was like that. I noticed when I was on Doreen's channel this week that she has done a really, really great job of making her thumbnails look similar. The theme is similar, the color scheme is similar, the text, when you see them, you know that is camping therapy. And the reason that comes in handy is because if Doreen makes 3 videos about how to do something to replace a couch cushion in your RV, and there are 3 different videos, but the thumbnails look similar, and I've found one of them, when I get to the end of the video, YouTube is going to say, okay, this viewer liked this video about couch cushions. Who else could we pull from to give this viewer what they need? And they'll find Doreen's other 2 videos along with 50 other videos. And if I look over and I see a similar thumbnail to what I've just watched, and I go, wait, I liked this one, it lets me know I'll probably like that one too. I mean, Doreen, you're doing all these smart things. No wonder you're growing like crazy. That's really smart.
Okay. Any final thoughts for the first video? We'll probably have to move on. So we're going to show the second video, which is Fat Matt, and that link is down below in the description area if you hadn't already went over there and watched it. But I'm going to play the clip if I figure it out and do it right. Hold on.
All right, so we've got maybe 30 minutes to an hour's worth of sunlight left, and the sky is getting gorgeous. Check this out.
All right. Let's do it backwards this time. Donovan, you want to start off?
Sure. The fart was brilliant.
What?
Seriously?
Seriously, that was brilliant. I mean,
No, seriously to Steve Turtle.
yeah, I know.
I never heard it.
That's because you always use that to hide your coughs. So, oh my gosh.
RCRV wants to know if that was a fart.
It was a fart. Yes, I guarantee you.
All right, focus.
If you haven't watched enough Fat Matt Adventures, you don't know the kind of humor he puts in the middle of the most amazing moments. So you just need to know that's his style. So let me just say this. When it comes to drone footage, first time we've done drone footage, really. Slow and steady wins the race. He had nice movements. I think only at one time did he actually move the drone as he was flying, and it was so subtle you almost didn't catch it. But you don't want to do this. You want this cut, then move in this way, cut, or however you decide. But don't show the drone moving because it takes the beauty feel away from it, in my opinion. When you show it flying and moving, unless that's the point of the video, you've lost the sensation of the beauty of the surroundings because you're more interested on where it's going to. I had one interesting suggestion. You showed the truck a few times, and the one time where you started to come in the truck where you made that slight movement, a turn on the drone, I would have liked to seen you, because you're getting ready to come home, but you're not quite all the way there yet because you showed the truck right before we cut away at the end there. I would have liked to seen you do a Ken Burns effect where you zoomed out as the drone was coming in, so it stretches the view and it almost comes in even slower. And it makes a really cool cinematic effect. And a lot of people don't even probably realize that's something they can do with drone footage. But having the whole scene zoom, away from the truck as your drone's flying toward it will really make a cool look. And it's just a suggestion of something you might use next time. I'm good. Loved it. Fart some more.
I am literally, no joke, I am sitting here reanalyzing because I need to find something to criticize. It's so hard. No, I noticed something when we were watching the replay here on the stream that was catching my eye, and I wanted to pull it back up to see if it was actually internet related to the show. It was not in the video. So close that back down. It was something I noticed as the drone shot was going sideways, the tree was chopping. And I'm like, what is that? What is happening? And so I just took a look at the actual video at the source, and it's not there. So I think it's just in the live stream that was adding that chop to it. This whole video is one of my new favorites. Now, Fat Matt Adventures, not all of their videos are like this, but I feel like he went out and he modeled this video after some of my other favorite YouTubers. I am just impressed at his ability, his editing, his drone flying. Everything is really great. His comedic timing, like when I caught that was a fart, he's like, "I'll check this out." And then it cuts, right? And then it's like, and then it didn't linger. Sorry, that was not meant to be a pun. The timing of the video didn't linger. Oh, great stuff. And then it went to the drone footage. But as Donovan pointed out, the drone footage is great. You don't want to get fast movements and stuff like that. Well, sort of. I actually play around with adding fast movements, but I start with the kind of footage he has. I don't ever do any fast turns or whatever because that just it doesn't feel cinematic at all. He nailed the cinematic shots with this. They looked amazing. That's why I was having to dig and look to see something that could be done differently. The music was timed out really well. I feel like I'm just the bad fifth wheel on this show because I don't seem to be able to find anything wrong with anybody's videos. What could you? I don't know.
It's not necessarily something's wrong. Maybe you just need to find other options that maybe
Right.
for the future, right?
Exactly. Like what could he, I don't know. Maybe he peaked too soon. Maybe this is the pinnacle. Got to pace yourself there, Mr. Fat Matt. I mean, your last video that just came out was, how not to cook a burrito, and that video was not as good. It was funny, but the quality was not as good as this. Look, man, not all my videos are bangers either. So sometimes you just got to get a video out there. I understand that. So anyway, I'll let these other guys talk, and I'll keep thinking about it.
All right, Scott.
I really, really, really like the use of the drone footage. And I want to say the same thing that both of these guys have said, because I think it's that important. So many people will take their drone footage and all the movements, all the stuff that they've done. They go, "Oh, I used a drone. I got to use every bit of the footage." And it's awful. It's terrible. And you've got to do what Fat Matt did. Okay. You get your drone wherever it's going to be. And then you, just like Donovan said, you cut your video, only show us the good stuff. All of the movement, just like you do in your regular video. You wouldn't, like I hit record and then I pull my camera up. You would never show this part, but people do that in their drone footage. They're like, okay, here it is. And we have to watch that, and it's not enjoyable. So the way he's done that is really, really well done. I really like, cause you know, this is my thing. I really like that every 8 beats, it changed right with the music. I liked it. One thing I might would have done is, because we're looking at a sunset, I might would have put some transitions in there. Maybe not everyone, but every 8 beats we've got to change. Maybe one of them is just a smooth change, because we're looking at pretty sunsets. And I like how there was one time that you went from one kind of shot to another of the same kind of shot. Every other time, your first shot was up, your next one was left, your next one backed away, your next one went up, then there was one that was forward, there was another one that was forward, and then we went left again. But the fact that so many of them, we weren't seeing the same thing twice. Like I see that sometimes in videos, and that's just not, I mean, give us something different to look at. And that was really smart how you did that. What I really, really, really like, and it's what I've been working on, is you have all this great footage. And while I'm content to sit and watch that footage, what is the story that gets me invested and makes me want to watch that footage? And you were really smart. You said, we've got maybe 30 minutes to an hour of sunlight left. You said, we've got 30 minutes to an hour of sunlight left. So you made me go, oh, well, we got to hurry up and do this thing then. And so you start showing us what we're looking at for that next 30 minutes to an hour. You drew me in. That was really smart. It was good storytelling that so many of us just don't take the time. All it took was for you to turn the camera around and go, hey, here's what's going on. Come do it with me. And you brought us into the story. That was really smart. I think one thing that I would have done, now this is in the bigger context. This isn't in that minute clip. The drone footage goes on for 2.5 minutes. And in that 2.5 minutes, there's 26 seconds of talking. Not that there has to be talking, but 2.5 minutes of drone footage with only 26 seconds of something different. That, now, time out. Take this as Scott saying this. Scott says, I don't know that was the best use of 2.5 minutes. We probably could have put some other things in there to keep the viewer interested, but that's not gospel. What is gospel is when you go in and you look at your analytics. And if in those 2.5 minutes, you didn't lose viewers, you're clearly doing it right. But I feel like if I looked at my analytics and for 2.5 minutes, I was showing really beautiful drone footage, somewhere in there, I'm going to see a dip in viewers, and then it'll probably come back up later. And if yours isn't doing that, you're doing it right. But that was just, if I had to find something that I would suggest, I think that would be my suggestion. Oh my goodness. Do y'all know Steve has actually hosted a live stream before? Did y'all know that? This is not his first live stream. You might not would know that about Steve.
You are not going to pick on him when he had an internet problem, are you, Scott?
I know, I'm one to talk, right?
Yeah. You know you're muted.
Where did we leave off? I think Scott was trying to say something.
It was Scott. You didn't miss a thing.
Okay. All right. Good. Is it my turn? Can I say something? You guys already said it all. I call it a hook. I love the transition from the beginning of the clip. It's going to be a gorgeous sunset. We got about 30 minutes to go, and boom, we're doing it. And then the little clip that was real quick, little toot, I thought that was interesting. And the drone footage, I love it. I like the idea of showing the truck and the mountains in the sunset, because you get a perspective of how vast and how big it is, where, you know, if you just took regular footage, you might not be able to get that. And I thought that was really nice and really cool. But I'm with you guys for that one minute clip. I thought it was awesome. I do like the way that at the very end of the clip, he goes across, he pans across the tree. I thought that was pretty cool too. But I don't have a drone, so I hope these guys, when we go into this round table, we're going to talk a little bit about drones. Does that sound like a plan? You want to watch the video again? All right, we're going to watch it again.
All right, so we've got maybe 30 minutes to an hour's worth of sunlight left, and the sky is getting gorgeous. Check this out.
All right,
the air
round
conditioner's
table.
on.
Say again?
I think your air conditioner's on.
Oh, you can hear it?
It's fine. It's fine.
It calmed down.
I'd turn it off, but it gets hot.
I'm glad to see a lot of the questions that popped up. People answered for him. B-Bear had a couple questions, and the chat took care of her, and that's awesome. That was neat.
Are we about to talk about drones and drone-related things?
Yeah, let's do that.
I think that would be fun.
Can I go ahead and go on record saying I'm with Steve? I don't have a drone. We've talked in our family about, oh man, that'd be cool to have that. That really adds so much to our videos. But here's what I've done. The couple of times that who's echoing me? Stop doing that.
Everybody check your stream just in case.
The couple of times that I've needed drone footage for something. Good night, people. All right. The couple of times I've needed drone footage for something, I've actually just found the video that I needed. I've reached out to the creator and said, hey, I see you've got this. Could I use some drone footage? The first time I did it, it was a Christmas festival. And I happened to find this drone company in the town had just gone to the Christmas festival and made some amazing footage. And it was just drone stuff. So I just reached out on Facebook and I said, hey, we're about to do a family trip to this Christmas festival. Would you allow us to use your drone footage? And I'll be honest, I almost stole it. And then I was like, no, that would be stupid. So I sent him the message and I asked, and sure enough, he reached back out and he said, you are more than welcome to use it. Just give me credit for it. And if you would, tag on Facebook, it was like the Chamber of Commerce and the Visitors Bureau, just so they can see that I'm doing this for our town. And I did that. And he reached out afterwards and said, I really like that. I travel a lot. I think we should collaborate again in the future. And what would have happened if I just stole his stuff? Not that. But I've reached out to a couple of folks, and it's either yes or no. Yeah, you can use it, or no, leave my stuff alone. But I mean, it kept me from having to buy a drone, and it's somebody who's got experience making great footage.
All great points.
I wanted to say something that Scott touched on right before we went to the round table, and it was the we. You know, when you video and you talk to the camera like you're talking to someone, it makes it more personable, and it draws people in to the conversation and to what you're doing.
Yeah.
All right, Donovan.
You want to read through that list?
Oh yes,
Or do you
yes,
want me
yes.
to?
I'm gonna talk about this. I'm going to read through it real quick, and we can come back and get the points. How about that?
All right. Maybe someone else read it. I think your audio's really messing.
How about me? I can read. So you're just reading the top 10?
Yep.
So this was top 10 list that Steve Turtle had found about, what was it, top 10 advice, top 10 tips for flying drones for YouTube videos. Well, flying drones. Number 1 was fly in open spaces. Number 2 is lighting matters, sun, contrast, light and dark. Number 3 is save battery, plan out the shot, record the complete flight. The battery will run out before the SD card is full. Number 4 is checking rules and regulations. If you make money, it's commercial use. Number 5, recording settings. Steve put in, I don't know, I don't have a drone. Number 6, variety, bird's eye view, tracking, crane shot. And to think about what good are all these shots if they don't make sense for the story. Number 7, to add extra energy, sports, running, riding to show perspective. Number 8, the camera does not have to move. Drones are fun and you can just stick random shots in the story. Number 9, get ideas for movies. High to see more or fly along something to fly with the characters. Follow the action. And last, number 10, analyze aerial shots. Do they support the story? Great tips. So we want to talk about those. Anything pop out there that you guys want to talk about?
I popped them all in the chat so people could read through them.
Thanks for doing that, Donovan. When we talk about the different types of shots you can use, one thing that I came across early on, and I blatantly stole it, is so often people take their drones and they go in towards something. You can only do that shot so many times. And I don't know anything about drones, but I think it's kind of difficult sometimes to go the other way. But you've got to remember you're pulling stuff into you're pulling, other things in as you go backwards. And if it really is that hard to do the forward shot and then in editing, hit the button and make it go in reverse. And now you've just opened up a whole new thing you can use.
Yeah.
As you were saying that, when I was talking about the Ken Burns effect, where he could have been zooming away as the drone was flying forward, there's other things you can do. You can start with a narrow shot, and as you're backing up, you're also zooming out at the same time, and it makes an amazing. I mean, I'm just telling you, using the zooming effect with your drone footage can make people are going to be like, how did they do that? Because when I've seen it, I'm like, man, that looks so good. And it takes me a few seconds to go, oh, that's what they did. It always looks cool. So don't be afraid to play with that zoom while you're showing your drone footage.
Let's give the watchers like a perspective so they understand what you're talking about. Oftentimes it's used in a scary movie, right? Usually a long hallway. And a lot of times what you see is you're watching it and you see the long hallway, and from the movie, it looks like the hallway gets longer. That's essentially what Donovan is talking about. Using
the girl from The Shining is an example. The two girls. Yeah.
Right. You're watching it. They're in the hallway. They're a certain space away from you. And what they did was they had the camera on a trolley, and they pull it backwards while at the same time they zoomed in. And it does that effect. It changes the dimensions of how the hallway looks. So that's if anybody's watching wanting to know what Donovan's talking about. Hopefully it draws the connection for you.
No, that was great.
Thank you. I think that's called the vertigo effect. Is that right?
Maybe.
Let's go.
Could be. I'm not that good at this stuff.
There should be a book to help you.
I think the most important point in all 10 of those bullet points that this guy talks about in his video is that the drone footage supports the story. It makes sense.
Amen.
And it enhances and makes the story better. And if you go and watch that video, it's pretty awesome. He talks about different ways to do that. One example was pull back in your drone shot and show a wide open field and a lone figure walking across that field to show how maybe he's got to walk a long ways, or it's a difficult path to travel or something like that, and it's going to take him a long time. So you get the perspective of how big this challenge is for him. And you know, and there's different examples that he gives I think are pretty interesting.
Now, occasionally some people will actually seek out drone videos. Just there's a few that I enjoy watching where they literally, there's a guy that he climbs up in the mountains in Europe, takes his drone up there, and he will fly him around the mountains, and then he'll set it all to a certain song. And it's really fun to watch if you're searching for those things. But as Steve's saying, more often than not, you're going to have a story you want to support, and does that drone footage add to that story?
In the military, the helicopter has a tactic that it does. It's called nap of the earth. So they fly right down against the ground between the trees. I've seen drone footage that sort of duplicate or give you that feeling of what do they call it? Point of view. Yeah. And I find that pretty awesome.
Something else. If you watch some people's videos, and I'm going to name a channel here, Travel Kiwi, and it's from New Zealand. They take a lot of drone footage, and you only see about 10 seconds of it in their videos. And why is that? One, they made this big hike. They show you the big scenery, and then boom, they're on to something else. They want you to see what you got up there with them for, give you a nice, quick 10-second, 5-second view here, 5-second view here, boom, we're right back into the story. Sometimes just a little drone footage makes the story a whole lot better than a lot of good drone footage. And I think you guys kind of mentioned that a little bit earlier, but just another, like Dave was saying, perspective. So it's just a thought. When you're telling that story, sometimes just a couple quick scenes tells what they need to do and move on.
Yep.
Yeah, I've entertained the thought of getting a drone. I'm just not sure how it would be incorporated into the videos that I make. I do think that for campground reviews, you know, to get a perspective of the campground, I think that's really awesome. But I really haven't found a reason that would warrant spending the money for a drone. Although Steve, I do love it.
Camper Life, he does a lot of different RV park reviews, and I think he doesn't have one, and I think it would really benefit him, because I've done a few now, and it just looks great when you can take it up, and then the person really wants to know, now they can see the driveways and the streets through there and everything, and it doesn't really help the story. It helps what are they actually searching for. They want to know about that RV park.
Sure. Yeah, absolutely.
I think a drone shot in your shower videos would be great, Steve Turtle.
I don't know if a drone would fit, and if I did get one, it would be one for $25, and it would be blurry.
The cheaper they are, the easier they crash.
And I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, that's something else someone else mentioned. Once you become monetized, Desert Adventures in Arizona, the FFA will come after you if you're monetized and don't have the commercial FFA license.
Right.
If you're under a certain weight, and I can't tell you what it is, you don't need a license to fly a drone until you get monetized, and then you can get the license, and all your videos are okay at that point. You can get the license after you get monetized, but they will. He's absolutely right, and I know a few people that have had problems with it. So just know that if monetization isn't a big deal, drone footage won't matter either. Otherwise, you will have to get that license. And so thank you for bringing that up.
Right. The gentleman that did the video that I'm sort of talking about, he said that he just turned all of the monetization off so he could shoot the video, and that makes him legal because he's not making money, so it's not commercial use.
On those videos, right, that he has drone
just
footage.
On that video, yeah.
Yes. That's another way.
Footage. Yeah.
Yep, great solution.
I missed a comment earlier from Nick's Picks, and I probably missed a couple dozen more. It says, Steve Turtle, I had a video from 2010 18 that got a copy strike yesterday. I don't know, normally that happens when they run it through their algorithm. I don't know if it's something new that they've done to the algorithm that it's going back and it's looking at certain things.
It can also be some goober that's just messing with you. Almost every live stream that we put out, we get a copyright claim from some ridiculous nothing. And then I go in and I put in the information I'm supposed to say. This music was purchased from all the things. And then we have to wait a few days and then it goes away. I think they just, the thing is, if they win the copyright strike, they get the money. It's monetized.
Yes.
I think there are these people that just go around doing that.
Well,
I thought I was just helping you, Scott. I didn't know that was hurting you.
A claim and a strike are very different.
Thank you. Sorry. Thank you.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. I agree with you, Scott. I had a claim on Facebook, and it was totally, I don't even know what they were talking about. So of course, I challenged it, and I fought the law, and I won.
I've only had one this whole time, and it was poor Dave's great scene from one of his videos. And I had to mute it because I didn't know how to handle that. What I should have just done is went and ordered the music stuff and paid for the song. That's what I should have done next time. But I've never had another one because I've always corrected.
I could make a claim,
even though I had to take the sound out of his video.
YouTube has asked me if I'd like to make a claim against McGuire's on tires. Not joking. I've literally said, no, they're fine. They're fine. They're fine. They're fine. They're fine. They're fine.
I've stolen from many of you. Thank you.
I don't know. I was watching a YouTube video the other day. The guy says, steal it. Just make it better.
I don't know that I'm doing that, but I'm definitely stealing.
I don't know if that's good advice. Hey, I guess we got 2 minutes. We got to get out of here. I apologize for stumbling through this one. I don't know what's going on. I didn't start drinking until Ken Burns came along, but
I'm never going to say it again. I'm done.
Well, then how will we drink? We'll be so thirsty.
I'd like to thank everybody in the chat. Thanks for your comments. Thanks for your just coming by. We really do appreciate it. And keep sending us your videos. We'll come up with something. We'll have fun. We'll learn together. How do we do it? Let's lift each other up and get better together. No, and learn together. There we go. All right, I got to get out of here. It's time.
Hey, there's Johnny's Journey is up next, or they can go check out the Hitchhiking Bones. They're both live next. If you go to rate them, say you rated them from Steve Turtle's VIDLIFT show. It'll help people say, what's that? And they might come back here next time.
Yeah, thanks, David. You're awesome.